Story of art. I'm running over the Dundas Street Bridge that crosses the Thames River, gravel gray and making no demands, when a heron, a check mark of attention, a pencil stroke marking a great line in a book, shoots up. It's the first day of fall, not the calendar's first, but the weather's. The sky's a flowered breadboard, the clouds punchy as dough, when a sudden heroic hurry of leaves, traffic pummeling the cliffs into town, squirrels zippering shut the trees. In grade 5, I lost a whole season trolling bonfire leaves, the reddest, the orangest. Got lost in the honey smell of ironing nature between sheets of waxed paper, lost in Scotch taping onto the window new arrangements. The raw sound I heard came from me. It was Crow searching for lit things, for the shine of things.
I love that. Always the opportunist searching for the bright bauble.
Yeah.
Like mankind or humanity, right?
Yes. Or the good word, or the good phrase, or the idea for the next poem.
Talking about the idea for the next poem, where did form originate in both these books? I found the form absolutely carried the text. They're quite surreal in their interjections, but the form is so particular. I loved it. It actually embodied what you're trying to say.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, I allowed myself to follow voice and breath and pause where there would be the best chance of double meanings or triple meanings, perhaps even, and to help the reader also, because it's a very abbreviated form, poetry, and so often if the reader is, if a suggestion is made that he or she pause, that's helpful.
And the suggestion is through line break or breath, or excuse me, through white space?
Yes, yeah. And sometimes it's just playful. I think the hamburger wrapper riding the swell of an updraft. You know, I can't tell you how long I fiddled with that to get that right.
And you did. It was worth it. It was worth it.
Ironically, it's going down the page instead of going up the draft, but I couldn't do the updraft, so you get the idea.
Would you like to read a poem that will illustrate that sense of play from Wolfthrow?
Sure. I will read sort of an introductory poem. I have strong feelings about Red Riding Hood, and my research has shown me that for me, the most important moment in the story is when the wolf meets the girl in the woods, and this is important for all kinds of reasons. But often this story is taken in a very dichotomic way, and so that Red is posited as innocent and the wolf is posited as evil. And that's not exactly true. The wolf is also there to show her where she is, and that's what this poem is about.
I'm thinking of Blake's going from innocence to experience, so the wolf represents that transitional figure that would lead the girl into...
So this is Red speaking. It's different. He was different. Asked my name. I told him. He smiled. I smiled back. Why wouldn't I? He turned, bent over the flowers, trilliums, I think, and something pink. A trickle of noise, a single pebble falling down a rain stick. Look, he said, look at this trout lily. It's pushed through winter's leaf mat. Leaf mat. Nobody talked like that. And this collar of leaves hugging the stem, he flicked the leaves away. His fingers went flick. I said I had to go. What's your hurry? Don't be such a schoolgirl. Of course I was a schoolgirl. Look, he said, throwing his arm toward the trees, making his fingers dance like dust motes in sunlight. Look where you are, where we are. He leaned against a tree, propped one foot and pushed his soul back against the trunk. From a shirt pocket pulled a pack. "I'm not allowed to smoke," I blurt. He tapped the bottom, shook one out, brought it to his lips, smiled. Didn't take his eyes off me as he lit the tip. The sting of sulfur up my nose, his in-suck of breath. He shook out the match, dropped it. Smoking's not allowed in the forest, but I didn't say, just thought it. Nobody ever looked at me in a way that made me feel the look. Said my name like it mattered, showed me plants like tiny drink umbrellas in shirty temples, folded under my feet, beneath my hands. I could feel pulsing my wrist or maybe my heart.
Beautiful, Cornelia.
Thank you.
It's such a transitional age, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
And the forest carries the magic of that, doesn't it? The forest becomes a character in your work, the woods.
Yes,
Woods.
yes. I really bring that to the fore in Femme de Loup, Hungry Wolf, the play, where the play is staged with men's suits hanging as the trees. I take that up in Woods Wolf Girl as well. I suggest that, but it's a visual in the play, and the characters are interacting with the tree suits the whole way through, which is of course a lovely commentary on our culture, our patriarchy.
Yeah, it's an amazingly live image. It's like choosing the suit is choosing your power, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The communal and the collective and the uniformity of the suit.
Yes. Yeah.
So you began poetry in London and are still a co-artistic director.
I am.
And you are a professor at Althouse.
Yes, I am.
And ongoing poet and playwright. You're combining a huge amount of events and things and professions.
Yes.
How's the balance?
Well, I get tremendous help from my co-artistic director, Karen Schindler, for Poetry London, and the rest of the women who are working.
It's a marvelous collective. It
is. We're right now doing grant apps, and so that's a lovely process when it's finished. It's a very wonderful organization. We get to bring in marvelous poets. It happens at the Landon Library, if you're interested, poetrylondon.ca. Yeah. And the work at the Faculty of Education is also very rewarding. I've worked hard to bring my poetry as a strength to my courses, and I have my students either do storytelling at the beginning of their courses or writing poems, especially on my online courses for narrative inquiry. And I have to admit there's sometimes quite a bit of resistance, but it's amazing. People feel very empowered when they see that they can write poetry and that it's good.
And if they're going to be teachers, they need that presence of storytelling, don't they?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So it is a very rewarding and also out there kind of pursuit. I've been lucky. The Faculty of Education is interdisciplinary, and so I've really counted on that.
Yeah. That they will acknowledge the art as part of the educational process.
Yes, and also that I have been able to continue work as an artist. I mean, that's the sort of the dual role of people in education, that you are your specialty, your discipline, but you also are the teacher of that discipline, and to marry those two does take a tremendous amount of balance, and not everybody achieves it, so I'm very thankful and grateful that I have been able to
continue as a working artist.
Yes.
It's imperative for our life and our soul and our happiness.
I think so, yes.
Thank you, Cornelia. It's been a delight to talk with you. This is Penn Kemp for Gathering Voices, and this show will be heard on March the 1st.